The gang ain't shit, the gang ain't couple of groupies, the fit way, high, no turbulence, violent. You niggas get flying while you niggas flying, while you niggas flying. Your kindness, I come some new when I'm driving, some new when I'm driving. Selling off the roof, no skyline view when I'm riding.
Gang, what's poppin', man? Welcome back to Let's Talk Everything from the podcast. Y'all already know who I am. I am the host, Carter Slaughter, of course. I had to get a live in, man, before I go to work tonight. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, it's the Maverick approach. Of course, it's the Maverick approach for those of y'all that don't know nothing about knowledge. If you don't know nothing tonight, you're gonna learn tonight. You hear me? If you don't know nothing tonight, you're gonna learn tonight. Let me turn that up. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody out there, man, who making that money. You hear me? Like I said, I have to get a live. Man, let me make sure we can hear this, man. Oh yeah, I got my boys.
The episode of Maverick Approach, Maverick here, and of course I got Devon True,
the brotherhood, no otherhood.
Yes, sir, and backed by popular demand. You guys loved the last episode with her; it went crazy viral. She is, you guys already know, a world-renowned remote viewer, author, speaker, the one, the only,
overall great person.
Wrote
that too.
Elizabeth April.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, so much for having me back. It works out that we're neighbors, so it's like...
Yeah, there you go. Right?
You know, I did an episode.
It's easy.
I did an episode. Man. I was wondering why they wouldn't remote view the missing general, you know, and it was a good question that I had myself. I'm like, shit, the Army got remote viewers. They should remote view or the general, and this is an episode about that. Let's dive.
We're gonna do something a little different today.
Yeah.
So obviously, you guys, we do the podcast and whatnot, but we're gonna take it a step further today. We're gonna do some investigative research, investigative journalism. So this is what I had her do. So we have 2 missing people and 1 ended up dead. Now, you guys may have heard about William McCaslin, Monica Reza, and Carl Grillmeyer. Mm-hmm. Now, what do these people have in common? So we're going to break all this down and how all these weird instances are all connected. So we had her remote view into these.
Those of y'all, like I said, that remote viewing is serious. You know what I'm saying? No, y'all don't know the people we talking about. These people went missing, and all these people have something to do with the aerospace technology. You feel me? And they were studying and researching aerospace technology. And if you don't know what that is, that has something to do with space travel. You feel me? Almost in the instant of time traveling, aliens, the discovery of other species, so on and so forth. And we're going to get into this. What we doing? Let's dive deep. And I have to hit this camera because I am rolling up that goody good. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go.
Situations. So the whole breakdown, just to give everybody context, there is a missing general named, McCaslin. And he was ahead of the UFO research facility in Wright-Patterson. So we have him. He went missing last month. And people are alluding to that he had information, disclosure, UFOs, and whatnot. Then we have Monica Reza. A lot of people don't know about her. She actually went missing last summer during hiking. Okay? And I find it pretty interesting that both of them, McCaslin and Reza, loved hiking, and they both went missing. Right. Now, she's a rocket scientist, and she developed a special alloy called Mondelloy. She has a patent on it.
That's deep. They get deep, gang. You know, when you're dealing with a rocket scientist who developed the alloy and got a patent on it, you feel me? And the alloy is dealing with the type of metal that can deal with space travel. You understand what I'm saying? This one, it become interesting. It's going to become very interesting, and I need y'all to pay attention.
Dude.
Oh, what does that do, by the way? The
alloy.
Yeah,
the alloy. So essentially, the alloy, it's a super alloy that she patented back in the 90s, and essentially, what it does is think about the combustion engine of a rocket, right? Now there is a precursor to that, to where essentially it's It's like revving up a car before it starts to take off. Okay. So there's extreme heat with oxygen. Right. The alloy withstands that, so it can rev up to 1,000 degrees. So before it takes off, that's what the Mondaloy does. Okay, she developed that. She created that. She co-founded that.
So and for space travel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Then Carl Grillmeyer, he's dead. And he got shot on his porch randomly. They're saying it was a carjacking. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, which is like, why would you go to a remote place?
So carjacking in the middle of nowhere, gang. Somebody make that make sense. You feel me? They say he did something happened to him. He was carjacked in the middle of nowhere, rich man. Y'all make that shit make sense to me. That don't. It don't make no sense. And it's getting deeper and deeper. And I tell people all the time, like, gang, y'all got to do y'all studies and pay attention to what's taking place around y'all, because, like I said, this information has been leaked daily, and you know what I'm saying? You can see it. You can look at it for yourself. But they'll want you to be a fool out here. One thing I ain't really with is, playing the dummy. You know what I'm saying? We can't really play the dummy out here. But they'll allow you to play like that. All these people connected. That's the wild part. They are all connected and they get spooky. You hear me? It get real spooky, gang. Let's dive back into it while brother finish rolling this good. Right. Let's get to it, man.
To do a carjacking.
Well, they also said the guy was like breaking into places, his neighbors' places or something like that.
But if you look at his house, there's nobody around him. Yeah. So how far are you traveling to break into these houses?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So he gets shot dead on his porch. Now he's an astrophysicist at Caltech. Okay?
Astrophysicist.
And the connection between all these three people. So Grillmeyer, he's an astrophysicist at Caltech. Now, there is a research facility at Caltech called IPAC that he was one of the lead researchers there. Now, right down the street, 5 minutes away, there is another research lab, JPL. Guess who's the director of JPL?
Oh,
Monica Reza.
Whoa. Well, that's another one of the missing people, right? Correct. Check it. Now they right down the street from each other. Two research labs, two major research labs. You know what I'm saying? Right down the street, they work with each other. They are connected. And you mean to tell me two workers from each go missing? You know what I'm saying? That's a different ball game. This is when we playing on high stakes, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that, nobody want to be playing ball on. Nobody want to play ball on this type of field. When you playing on these type of fields at these type of stakes, you don't know what you got at risk. You don't know what you playing with. You don't know the level. You understand what I'm saying? And I think these folks didn't know the level exactly of what they was playing with, or whose term they was playing on. Let's put it that way. We don't know whose term they playing on.
Okay. And these facilities, they do, talks with each other. They all work with each other. They're 5 minutes down the road. Caltech actually manages JPL, and JPL is Jet Propulsion Lab. So she's working on that. So it makes sense. Now, there's another connection. So with the missing general. So he was at Wright-Patterson, but also he was the lead commander at another Air Force base, Kirkland Air Force Base, which is in New Mexico. Now, guess who worked there at the same time?
Man, there's a lot of connection ties, man. All these motherfuckers, they was working with each other. They working in the same areas. They working basically on the same technology. These connections is deeper than what I can even imagine. It's deeper than what anybody can imagine, because at the end of the day, when you got a missing general who's been missing over 2 to 3 weeks, you got to know this deep. This hit different. Like I said, there be so many secrets out there, gang, in the world that they don't want you to know about nor talk about, my nigga. That it'll go far. It'll go far as they killing. They killing your family. They killing you. They wiping you out. They get rid of the people around you. Getting rid of the people you love. You got to make sure you are paying attention to these signs. You understand what I'm saying? And I made the video. I said, damn, I want to see them remote view on, the general. I want to see that. I want to see them remote view. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the Army got remote viewers and they able to see farther than what a human's eye can see. They can use their third eye and they can look deeply into, you know what I'm saying, the future sighting and get this glimpse, get this image of the general where he possibly can be at. But man, ain't nobody been speaking about it, nor old girl moms that's been missing for quite some time.
He was there. Monica Reza.
Interesting.
This is the world's smartest wallet.
So Monica Reza, all these people go missing. They all working with each other. They all are connected. You feel me? This wild, if you ask me.
So all three of these people dealing with exoplanets, space travel, UFO disclosure, they all go missing. And then now what do we have the government doing now? They just booked a domain, aliens.gov.
Oh, also Carl Grillmeyer, he I believed he worked on tracking basically like space defense, like from stuff like meteors.
Yeah.
Meteors. What we've been seeing a lot of lately.
I had her look into the meteors too.
Okay.
So, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
What have you seen with all these people?
Okay, so it's really interesting. So as a remote viewer, right, you can either get a blind target. So someone else gives you a target, which is just a series of coordinates. I don't know where that target goes to. And then, through a series of techniques, you kind of get to the target, right? And then there's sort of self-directed remote viewing, which is mostly what I do just because I don't always have someone giving me blind coordinates. And so when I do self-directed, it's like I sort of input the coordinates, which would be a person, a place, a location, a time, and then I end up going there. And for me, it's very visual. Not every remote viewer is visual. Some have more like a sense or a sensation. And so it's really interesting because when I was taking a look at all of these like disappearances and these scientists, the first thing that came up is that it's actually a group of 5. Immediately, I felt like there was 5 individuals all connected together. So this is 3. We're talking about 3 right now.
Right.
There's 2 others, and I don't know who those people are. And I don't know if they're known yet.
She said it's a group of 5. She said, now we talking about 3. Yeah, a lot of, people that's in the news, that's in the blogs, they talking about this 3. I ain't heard about that yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they could be talking about, but Amy ain't missing. Amy Eskridge ain't missing. She done died, after her claim of knowing about the anti-gravity and a lot of other things. Even after she mentioned the guy that's in the University of Milwaukee. You understand what I'm saying? She said he go to the University of Milwaukee. His last name Hahn. His granddad was a German. All this and that. I'm like, but I don't know who else they be talking about. A lot of this is news,
Right. So, and we'll talk about that. But keep an eye out for anyone else connected in the same industry who also has a strange disappearance or overdose or random accident or what have you.
Right.
Okay. Because it was a group of 5. And so not only were they on the leading edge of discovery and information, but it was very clear that they were working with an alternate organization. Okay. So not the organizations that they work with publicly. Now there is an organization. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into it. A lot of people call them the White Hats, but they refer to themselves as the Collective. And you know how we have like the elites and the shadow government?
Right.
We essentially have the other form of government, behind the scenes, which are the good guys. And they have their own remote viewers, which is interesting. They have white hat hackers as well. They're very high tech. And this sort of good behind the
motherfuckers out there don't believe. I done talked to people about this thought of And they be like, bro, what the hell are you talking about? You know, I'm like, look, if you did your studies, paid attention, do your research, you understand what I'm talking about. Wake up. Like the white hats, the shadow government, shadow work, all that shit. It's a lot of knowledge to it for those of y'all that pay attention. You see, it's not too many people around that pay attention to it, gang. So you gotta wake their ass up. You feel me? I be talking about it. White hat, shadow work, government shit, all types of shit. They think it's conspiracy. Nigga, the Epstein file showed you ain't no motherfucking conspiracies. You understand?
Scenes government organization has individuals embedded within military, within politics, even within sort of celebrity culture all over the world. Okay. Just like the elites are embedded everywhere.
Right.
And they've been keeping their identities a secret for a long time, because if anyone were to know who they really were and who they were affiliated with, they would be taken out immediately.
Right.
So the first thing that I saw was that there was a group of 5 of them. Okay. Don't know who the other 2 are. The second thing that I saw was that they were all affiliated, not only together working on different projects, but they were all affiliated with this white hat government organization. I don't know how, but they ended up getting discovered.
That sounds about right to me. Sound like a motherfucker could be working with a private government. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't far-fetched. A lot of times I hear about these other, you know, high up ranking people. They get to working with other private contracted government, or non-official government people, and they get to doing non-official government things that's not classified or is not passed down, you feel me, through the government for them to do. And that shit right there, they can lead you to some people. They can lead you into a lot of mess. I ain't gonna lie. And I think these motherfuckers, these be the people, they go rogue, get to doing what they want. You know what I'm saying? Doing it how they want, when they want, or they think so. But I don't think they be knowing the people they working for have a different agenda. You feel me? A scary one. That's what I truly believe. That's what I believe.
They worked with this alternate organization. So sometimes it's like, hey, you've been saying too much. You've been speaking out. We're going to take you out. And it really could have been, just the case of an actual, hiking situation gone wrong. And it wasn't. These were very planned attacks. What was also fascinating is when I was taking a look, so the other 2 that went missing.
That's my thing. These hiking attacks, 2 people go missing during hiking. 2 high government official ranking people go missing while they're hiking. That ain't no motherfucking, that ain't just luck. That ain't just chance. Ain't no coincidence in that game. Something scary is going on. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm where she at, and I'm where the Maverick approaching them is at. Like, no, there's something else going on to this, man. It's deep. It's deep, and we need to get to the bottom of it because they don't want to.
They're deceased. I don't see them actually alive. I don't see them anymore.
Which I figured, because at this time they went missing last month, and that was, it might have been over a month now.
Yeah.
And anytime that extended amount of period of time, and there's like nothing, no findings,
right?
Like nothing.
So the other thing too, right, that I took a look at is if there was enough noise around the man who went missing recently, right, they would plant his body somewhere, which is sometimes what they do, just to give answers. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, but most likely right now, the probable outcome is that.
I said that like, but with the other Air Force general, I said, it ain't gonna be nobody that pop up. I don't think we're gonna find anybody. Like she said, if it's that, then usually they'll leave a body. Let's go back to when she just said that. Hold on,
You're never gonna
listen.
Right? They would plant his body somewhere, which is sometimes what they do, just to give answers. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, but most likely right now, the probable outcome is that you're never going to find a body for either one of them.
Right.
So they do try and sort of stagger, how these people go missing or end up dead, so that they're not actually connected, right. Together. So that's sort of where we're at now. There's a huge shift that's taking place. Like this leads to sort of more of this like global governance structure that is completely shifting on its axle right now. The sort of top secret, shadow government elites, they're stepping back and the white hat government is stepping in. Not in a very public way, but in a very sort of quiet, discreet way. So, so interesting. It was honestly just like 2 weeks ago. And I was remote viewing this white hat organization and talking with one of he's not really a leader, but he's in a sort of a higher up position. His name is Roger. And he told me that just recently in the last month or two, the white hat hackers, sent out a message. Okay, get this. So they hacked into the devices of these shadow government, Illuminati, One World Order members. And the message that they sent was something along the lines of, what was it? Something along the lines of, you will be exposed if you don't step down. Step down or we will expose you. Like, period. And one of my biggest predictions in 2026 is that we're going to see celebrities canceling their tours, right? Musicians, celebrities canceling their tours.
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of that is already taking place. A lot of people just stepping down, a lot of people canceling tours and stuff. You got to do your homework. They gonna mention a few of them too, but do your homework, man. Pay attention. Those of y'all that really do your studies and don't think this is just some conspiracy theory ass shit. None of this is conspiracy theory. Ain't no such thing as coincidences, none of that. All this shit happened for a reason. All this shit take place for a reason. It's the time and season for all of this. You understand what I'm saying? So do your studies. Make sure you're doing your homework on this. You feel me? Like, just pay attention, man. Keep up.
We're going to see massive CEOs stepping down from their positions. We're talking like government positions. We're talking big bank positions.
Which has been happening.
Has been happening.
Yeah. World Economic
Right?
Forum CEO stepped down.
Major.
Yeah, and they've
major.
also been
Economic Forum CEO step down, gang. You feel me? That's some scary shit. When you get these type of CEOs stepping down from their positions, you know what I'm saying? And that's just one of many CEOs stepping down from their positions, then you know it's getting real.
paying out a lot of the Epstein victims to these banks lately. So,
Quietly, right?
Yeah.
Paying off the Epstein victims too quietly, you feel me? That's some scary shit. But letting you know that they know that, look, man, it's information that's coming out. We know, y'all know, we know of. And at the end of the day, we here to bust y'all down. We here to expose y'all. We here to make sure that the motherfucking truth hit the fan, you understand? When it hit the fan, we're going to make sure it do numbers. We're not playing, you understand? And they're making these motherfuckers pay. You step down, move your ass around. Simple as that.
And so there's a shift that's taking place. And as these individuals are stepping back, these white hat individuals, the collective, those members are poised, they're ready, they're in positions of power very quietly to step in as the replacement of those positions. What's also fascinating is that on the other end of things, the shadow government is stepping in and talking to their puppets, right? Because all of these members are scared. I mean, look at the Epstein files. Like that, that should have never been released. Mm-hmm. And even
yeah, they should be scared. They had their ass in that file doing some shit they weren't supposed to be doing. Y'all should be scared. You should be running and hiding, motherfucker. You feel me? That's the thing. They thought that shit wasn't gonna come out. The motherfuckers who was in the files didn't really want to get their shit busted open, get their melon cracked open and split, because they like, damn, you know, we thought we was gonna have this shit operating like this for a while. Yeah, I know, but hey, the shit had to change, nigga. Shoe on the other foot now, you gotta wear it, motherfucker.
When the Epstein files were released, like my biggest question is this a false flag event? You know, is this just another distraction?
Yeah.
Right? Because we've only, up until this point, we've only seen what they want us to see.
Of course. Yeah.
Even if it's declassified, right?
Right.
So that was my biggest question. Turns out, no, the Epstein files were legitimately, authentically released you could say by the good guys, right?
Right.
And the shadow government, that's the last thing they ever wanted. This was not a false flag event. This was a real release situation.
Yeah.
And so all of these shadow government members now are scared shitless and they want to run and hide. And so now the Illuminati, shadow government, whatever you want to call them, powers that be, they're all stepping in and saying, we'll double down. We'll give you more fame. We'll give you more money. We'll give you more power, more control if you stay.
Of course they have to do that. They want to, you feel me? They want to make a mockery and they want to make it look like, look, these motherfuckers is not correct. They're not finding what they're finding. You feel me? These files and these not giving y'all proof that y'all need. You understand?
Stay in your position.
The shadow government.
The shadow government,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Stay in your position of power. Stay acting as a CEO. You know, keep showing up to your music, whatever, world tour, right? And we'll give you even more than we promised you initially. And yet you've got, the white hat hackers coming in and saying, no, like you will be exposed. We will expose you if you do not step down.
Right.
So it's like this huge sort of power play that is literally going on in the last month or two.
Which it feels like.
Regime change. We talk about it all the
regime
time.
change. We said that to where this whole thing that
regime
we've
change,
been seeing with the Epstein files, with this new administration, and we talked about this on the last episode where it is a necessary evil with Trump and whatnot.
Yep.
Now, what's happening is, like you said, it is a chess game. And I feel like there's a push and pull type of scenario happening. We're all in between trying to guess like who is what and pointing the finger, and we're the Spider-Man meme. We're like this.
Seriously.
Everybody's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And it does feel like that, to where there's a lot of disclosure. There's a lot of things to where it seems confusing, but then hindsight, you're like, oh, I see why this came out at this time, because now we're seeing that, a lot of things are being connected.
Yep.
And that's if you really been paying attention. If you doing your stuff. If you ain't doing your studies, you ain't paying attention, you have no clue what they're talking about. If you've been sleeping under a rock, you don't pay attention to the Epstein files, the UFOs, the UAPs, and I got a lot of friends and family members who don't even pay attention to that shit. But if you one of them, gang, then you will never know what's going on with this, and you're gonna be waiting on the joke behind it. And it really ain't one, my boy. You understand what I'm saying? It's just for you to open your big ass eyes and dive right into this information, because it's out here for y'all to grab. You understand what I'm saying? It's out here to be grabbing. It's public information. And that's why I pay attention to it. I keep my eyes glued to it all the time.
So it's causing a lot of confusion in the midst of it. But then as we're getting out from it, we were starting to see more clarity.
Hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what I've been picking up on. And that's a very recent sort of transition that's taking place. So we're going to see, when it comes down to people disappearing, going missing, or having random, situations happen to them. These are very planned, very staged. Either that.
I spoke about the Amy Eskridge situation. Nobody really talked about it. They buried them, you know what I'm saying, like fast, rapidly fast, to where don't nobody mention their death. But the head and creator of a scientist lab where they study exotic findings. And exotic findings also has something to do with anti-gravity and all this shit. But they buried that shit. They buried the hatchet on it,
Individual is seen as a threat. Either they don't want to play by the rules or the game anymore, or they have too much information, or they're actually discovered as a member of the other side. So just as much as we've got CEOs stepping down, we're going to have more distraction. We're going to have more projection. And we're going to see individuals like influencers or actors or musicians who we haven't heard of in a long time. All of a sudden, they've got a new TV show. They've got a new world tour. So it's like...
It's funny, we just had one of the ex-Pussycat Dolls on recently. Okay. And that whole thing was about how she was in the group and, I think they did a reunion tour in 2020.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, they didn't call her or whatever to come back on tour. It was only like 3 members. But it's funny you say that, because we're seeing a resurgence of old artists,
Right.
like coming out of nowhere with like world
Because-
tours again.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because the new ones are done. Like they don't want to keep.
That make a lot of sense. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you know you feel me? If you listening to these artists' stories, and that's another thing I like to do. I like to listen to the background of what the fuck they be saying, listening in detail. Some of these artists be telling you in so many words, like, look, hey, look, this is taking place. I can't speak about it fully, but if you know how to read between the lines, motherfucker, you can't pick up on the stories. You feel me? It's like watching a movie. It's like watching a movie all over again. If you know how to pick up on the lines in the movie, you can't pick up on the story that these artists are. You feel me? Or the scenery that they showing you. You can pick up on it like, damn, okay, hold on. Oh, okay, they covering this up. Oh, where such and such go. You know, like they said, a lot of old artists is starting to come back around. They starting to show themselves again and resurface. Like, what's the purpose? You know, sometimes I always think everything is a distraction, but then again, sometimes some shit be put right there in your face so you can take it for face-to-face value and understand it for what it is, and then you can decipher that yourself. You
I
understand?
buy this game. So they're like, okay, who's gonna take the bait? Like
Right.
who wants fame right now? Who wants
Right.
power right now?
They're
Who
handing it
needs
out like
money right
candy.
now?
I'm telling you.
Because they're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're scared. Like the elites are scared right now, and they have a reason to be. I mean, they're not only losing resources by the day and people and puppets by the day, but they're having a hell of a time recruiting new members.
Right.
They just can't.
It's too shaky. And even when you have celebrities speak out to where Jamie Foxx just said not too long ago, hey, it's not fun being a celebrity right now. He said this. He was like, this is not fun.
Hey,
Wow.
and look, with them saying that little small shit is not fun being a celebrity, what the hell y'all think that mean? They know damn well everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to be a celebrity. Y'all really lifestyle, fast cars, all the clothes. Most of them niggas want all the hoes. Y'all get all the big houses, fancy jewelry. Why wouldn't you want to be a celebrity? So why isn't it a fun time to be a celebrity? That gotta let you know something. Something bigger and deeper is going on with these celebrities. You feel me? It's a certain game you got to play, probably being a celebrity. You got this type of money, you in this type of money bracket game, you got to play the game we playing. Definitely, if we come to you and we telling you, look, this is how the game going, this the order is going in, you got to play the game we playing. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's what they playing with this. That's just what I believe. I don't care how nobody says.
Stuff, a lot of disclosures happening. This isn't a good time.
No one trusts Hollywood anymore.
They don't.
Yeah.
No.
They do
That's
not.
what it is, yeah.
And by a celebrity publicly saying this, that means it's 10 times worse behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Pussycat Dolls, yeah. So she came on the show and essentially she was just like, this is weird. It's 6 of us. There's only 3 going out and doing a tour. They have a world tour. She spoke out against them and was like, you guys know I had an injury from the jab. My mom died. All this stuff was, she had turbulence in her life. And you guys were like, not going to call you. Don't care. We're going to go out on tour anyway. No condolences, nothing, right? And she exposed all that. And I feel like it's a sign of the times because she's like, I'm tired of.
I think a lot of them have turbulence. A lot of these people in the game, they have turbulence, but they don't want to say shit. They want to be made to seem tough. You understand what I'm saying? And I think a lot of them got to do that because this the role they took up right away. This the position they took up. This what they've been showing you off from jump. Like, look, I'm tough. This who I am. I got to put the persona on that. Is this that I'm made to seem like this, like gang. But at the end of the day, they going through turmoil. They going through drama. They going through hell. You feel me? They trying to uplift themselves and keep themselves from flipping over. Like, come on now. This shit getting deep. And then look, they made to look crazy. They got the artists looking crazy or the celebrity looking real crazy. Like, what the fuck really going on?
I'm tired of, being behind closed doors with all this information. And she was telling us like all that stuff we were doing is fake anyway. Their mics were off.
Wow.
They like only the lead singer was singing. Nicole, like she was like, I didn't sign up for this. And now she's just spilling the beans. So that's what's happening now.
Well, I mean, can we talk about Jim Carrey for a second?
Yes.
They showed us this in movies. Go back, listen to what he said. They showed us this in movies. When they was faking a
being behind closed doors with all this information. And she was telling us Like all that stuff we were doing is fake anyway. Their mics were off.
Wow.
They like only the lead singer was singing. Nicole, like she was like, I didn't sign up for this. And now she's just spilling the beans. So that's what's happening now.
Well, I mean, can we talk about Jim Carrey for a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like let's talk about celebrities.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because this guy is waking people up and he's not even around anymore.
Right.
So you looked into him.
I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone
Of
was
course
saying
I
in the
did.
comments, you guys should go watch her video. I'm like, no, I don't even want to watch it. I'm just gonna wait.
He ain't even around no more. He waking us up like, dang. That tells you something when a remote viewer say she already remote viewed Jim Carrey. He ain't around no more. He ain't alive no more. His spirit is not here. You understand what I'm saying? That's spooky. That's real spooky in itself.
Just have her on.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch it.
So what happened with him? Because we did a whole like breakdown and it was just
Did you?
I don't think that's him at all.
Oh yeah, okay. So I looked into him very similar to I looked into Charlie Kirk, right, and Erica Kirk, and so Jim Carrey was on the other side. Okay, so when you remote view someone's soul, right, like it's a frequency or a signature. So as a remote viewer, it's like if I want to go remote view Hawaii, especially if I've been there before physically, it's like I can just teleport into that, right? So it's like you follow the signature of the location or the individual. So, I mean, sometimes I follow the signature of an individual and I show up to, your body. You're here on planet Earth.
Right.
With Jim Carrey, I'm in the afterlife. Like I'm literally on the other side and there he is. There's his soul.
Now, that's those of y'all that don't know what that is. Man. There's a lot of people, believe in those remote viewing shit, but I'm going to tell you something. The military been paying billions and billions of dollars to study this shit, to study telepathy, to study telekinesis, to study all these sorts of human powers that exist that some of you motherfuckers call magic and tell a nigga it don't exist, it ain't real. Like, you're a fool if you don't believe it.
Like there's his soul signature. And I'm like, yep,
Wow.
not surprised to see you here,
Wow.
disembodied. What's going on?
She said
And he had a lot.
signature should be right where she remote viewer. Let's go back, man. Listen to this. Listen to this, man.
Right? Like it's a frequency or a signature. So as a remote viewer, it's like if I want to go remote view Hawaii, especially if I've been there before physically, it's like I can just teleport into that, right? So it's like you follow the signature of the location or the individual. So, I mean, sometimes I follow the signature of an individual and I show up to, your body. You're here on planet Earth.
Right.
With Jim Carrey, I'm in the afterlife. Like I'm literally on the other side and there he is. There's his soul. Like there's his soul signature. And I'm like, yep,
Wow.
not surprised to see you here,
Wow.
disembodied. What's going on? And he had a lot he had to say. So he spoke out against the Illuminati for quite some time.
Right.
Very famously did that.
Yeah.
He
Yes, he did. For those of y'all that don't know, go back and watch some of Jim Carrey speaking out. Not right for our government to be eating children. And he was saying this is something that his award. He was saying this during his award speech. You understand what I'm saying? And they just laughed. They just made it like this is a regular speech. He's a regular old comedian. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a funny guy, so on and so forth. But none of the shit he was saying was funny. Everything he was saying was true.
knew he wasn't supposed to. And he also knew that he had a little bit of power in the dynamic because there's no way they could replace his talent.
For sure.
That was his safety net for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that point, he didn't even care if they took him out. Like he knew that he was speaking out and that could cause the end of his life. And
I think that's what Mel Gibson knew too. Mel Gibson seemed like he knew that too. Mel Gibson didn't give a fuck. Mel was like, man, Hollywood got some evil shit going on up there. They got this going on, that going on, and he really didn't care what it take place to him. If you go and look at Mel Gibson right now, you feel me? You can see it in his eyes. He don't give two shits what take place. He's going to speak out, and that's what he was doing. Definitely when he made the Passion of the Christ movie. You feel me? He got so much slack for that movie, and that was crazy. But at the end of the day, these whistleblowers, when they get to coming out with this information, gang, y'all got to listen to them. understand what they saying and understand why they coming out with the information they coming out with.
He's like, this is more important than any of that, right? So he was willing to make that sacrifice years ago when he was talking about the Illuminati live on talk shows.
Right.
So there was that. And then, you know, the only question that I really had that I did not get answered, so I have my own speculations, of course, but it's like, why now? Why now?
I always ask that.
Because they could have taken him out years ago when he was talking about things. And there's like a variety of reasons why they either replace you with a body double, they put you into rehab, which is really just MK Ultra programming.
Britney Spears.
There's a reason why they do that, or just take you out completely and replace you with a clone. My biggest speculation, because Jim Carrey himself didn't know why now, right? Out of any other time.
That's deep. Y'all heard what she said. They usually take you out there and replace you with a clone. You feel me? I've been telling motherfuckers that for a while. That shit real, man. That shit real. You know, you get to acting up. You get to doing shit that they ain't told you to do, or you get to doing shit that's not your business. Get too much information. They on your head. You better believe that they'll take your ass out here and they'll replace you with somebody else. It's enough money to do anything around the world. You know, that's what make America the strongest. If you got the connections, half of these people in these industries got connections and other connections. They got family members all over the world. So you understand what I'm saying? They got ways to do things, ways to get you touched, your family, ways to get you touched in ways you couldn't imagine. Understand me? Like, this deep, man. It's deep. It's on a different level.
My speculation on this is that they wanted to use his influence. I said in my Jim Carrey remote view video, just watch, they will most likely get him into a film, right? Mm-hmm. Because the only reason why you're going to clone someone, either you kill them off and they're gone, they're out of here,
Right.
or you spend the money and use the resources, because it takes a lot of money and resources to clone someone and then program that clone to be that likeness, to put them in, to utilize their influence,
Right.
to utilize their network, or you just take them out and then you take care of the problem, right?
Right.
Jim Carrey was not willing to play the game anymore, but they wanted to utilize his influence.
Right.
So guess what was just announced?
What?
Jim Carrey's new movie.
No
Which
way.
movie?
I missed that. There's no way.
Which
Yeah,
movie?
I'm not even
No, I
kidding.
missed that. Are you
Freaking
serious?
a new Sonic.
Oh, wow, man. But then again, that's scary. Because at the end of the day, you feel me? People been, you know, it's I can't explain it, man. I can't really explain it, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going.
Where he was like the evil guy?
Yeah. Dr. Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik. Yeah.
So
No way.
just announced. Yep. After the whole fake award ceremony thing, and all of a sudden, like, I called it. Like, the only reason why they would replace him is because he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do, and they still wanted to utilize his influence. Now, one of my, sort of predictions for this is, if they can't replicate his talent in this movie,
They're gonna kill him off.
they're going to either change his role up completely, right? He's gonna back out of the movie, or they're just not gonna release, like, something happens with the Sonic 3 or whatever, and they're not gonna release it, right? Or they give him a very basic role to play. Like, it depends, but
yeah, usually that's when you can tell something else is going on movies like that, gang. Like, when there's some deeper shit, going on with the celebrity, you feel me? Like she said, when the celebrity being cloned or some shit, or they having a problem with cloning the LLM of the celebrity, making the clone act just like the celebrity, then you get all these motherfucking scenarios and situations where they like, yo, the movie ain't finna come out, we ain't doing it now, such and such. You know what I'm saying? All these excuses.
I mean, even with AI now, you can replicate somebody's IP and their name and
change
likeness.
their face, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And Sonic, they just need his voice anyway.
Right.
So,
really, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that was kind of cool that Jim
Like
Carrey,
with Tupac voice, everybody be like, how Tupac songs keep coming out? All they needed was the voice, and they gonna keep creating the songs, which is kind of scary. So that showed you we already had AI. They've been remaking Tupac and Biggie songs for years. Come on, gang. All these songs, like shows, come on, man. They line right in your face, man. Right in your face.
Said, just on the other side was that if in his passing or in his replacement, if that leaves people off with questioning the nature of the business, the industry of Hollywood, then he's happy for it. Like he's like, if I can leave this planet and wake people up along the way, he's like, I'm happy about
He's all
that.
for it. That's what
He's
it seems.
But that's bigger, it depends on the distraction that they give the world. Right now, the world is so distracted easily. The world is so distracted so easily, gang, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? The more quicker and faster they distract the world, the easier it is for the people not to question the industry and question how shit working, how the clone system is working. Like, dog, it's so crazy. Right now, everybody's stuck on AI. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's so stuck on AI, they almost forgot about the Epstein files. Like, dog, it's scary. People's minds, and don't nobody see it. They think it's themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
Like it seems like it was last ditch effort when he had his whole rants and all that other stuff, and he was making.
And people weren't listening.
Yeah, like he was kind of like. It wasn't really like a joke, but being that it came from him, it can seem like a joke.
Yeah,
because he was throwing up the sign and doing all this other stuff, and people were kind of laughing, but he wasn't like really joking.
No.
You could really tell. It was like just kind of like a message.
So I didn't see this clip, but people are saying that, one of the last things that he said in one of his last interviews, which was, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, was like, if you see me again, it's not me.
It's not me.
Because I'm going into retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, if I shave my beard, and it's not me.
And now he looks like Kris Jenner.
He's saying, "Oh, I'm dead."
Literally, he looks just like
I'm
Kris
dead.
Jenner.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
it was,
exist.
It was very apparent, like that last, whatever.
And then they did a whole homage to, what's the movie?
Truman Show.
Truman Show. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing. That was another telltale sign.
What happened?
So where he was, and people were like, this doesn't look like him.
Yep.
It was in Paris. They were giving him this award, and they were essentially, when he got up there, took the award, they did, like he said, an homage to the Truman Show. And he said his whole thing at the end of the show, where it's like, hey, if I don't see you tomorrow, whatever I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he says in the movie.
Yeah.
And then he exits.
That
in
was
the movie.
but that was
Like
his
I'm leaving
exit
the show.
on they had his speech.
Right.
For those that haven't seen the Truman Show, it's basically about like, his whole life was a lie.
A movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah.
So that was a telltale sign, because it's showing you, hey, I'm not playing this game anymore.
Yeah, and I know people talked about that. You feel me? That was one of the ones people like, man, have you seen the movie? I didn't see the movie, but I can understand exactly what they're talking about.
Hey, and then I have one more thing about this.
Okay.
So then there's this guy, right, who's a makeup artist,
Yeah.
who's saying
That he did it.
that was me,
Right.
right? And I don't think that he's said anything since then, like since
He hasn't.
sort of, no, right?
He hasn't said anything.
So, I mean, is it a joke? Is it just for clout? Like what?
But then his
like,
PR said, no, that was really Jim Carrey. So
Which
it's
is
like,
weird.
No, for sure,
Yeah,
right?
it's like, okay.
So,
It was weird to me, gang, because I heard about this shit too, and I don't think, dude, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, why didn't he come out and get claims on it, get paid for it? You understand? I think that's out there too, to be little decoys, distraction decoys, to throw the crowd off, to even throw some of the thinkers off, some of the people out there who trying to put this shit together. This is what I think they do a lot of times, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you, but yeah, it's wild to me, man. Anyway, I had to drop in for a little bit, gang. I gotta get ready for work, man. I love everybody out there. Thank y'all for chiming in with me, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the Maverick Approach. Check out the story on these people that's missing. Check out these stories, man. You feel me? Dive deep on this. You understand what I'm saying? Understand it for yourself. Man, pay attention to what's going on in the world. At the end of the day, man, I love y'all. You feel me? I gotta get ready to get up out of here, gang. I am out. Take care.
Now you bitch niggas better enter your butt elevate. I need 6-figure money, won't have the bucks and hella cake. boy, I been on dummy. Shooting hella ops, make them a day. If not him, then kill his mama. Make him feel his wrath in the hell away. Hydro shock, but his eye through his chest. Watch as they swim away. I don't stop shooting till you die in your last breath, and then I skid away. This a hollow tip.